Alright, so it's 2025, and somehow we are still all talking about the Strymon BigSky. At this point, this pedal's come out over a decade ago, and when it did come out, it redefined what guitarists considered to be a good reverb pedal. But with so many new pedals, plugins, and effects processors out there, is this still the king of the castle? Is this still, a decade later, the best reverb on the market? We're going to talk about that today. If you're anything like me, you've probably seen the BigSky on every worship player's board for the past 10 years, or anyone who is into ambient music, because it is hard to beat the quality of this pedal. It's pretty safe to say that this is a classic when it comes to reverbs, but let's be honest, gear has changed quite a bit in the past 10 years. Smaller pedals are catching up, plugins and digital effects are way more accessible, and the BigSky is still almost $500. So today I'm actually going to revisit this pedal from the ground up. I'm going to dial in some brand new tones. I'm going to mess around with it. It's actually so new, it still has this piece of plastic on it. Ooh, that was nice. Obviously, we all know this is still a good reverb pedal, but the question I want to answer today is, does it still spark creativity in the space of reverb? Now, just for full transparency, Strymon did send me this pedal. I did not pay for it. They did not give me any money. They simply sent me this pedal, and now I am checking it out. Anything that I might say or do in this video is completely on my own, and all of my thoughts are mine. So I'm going to take a second to dial in some worship tones, and then we're going to see what this thing is all about. So I just put it on the cloud setting, and we're going to play around and see what we got. Okay, so here's the deal. The interface is still beautiful to use. The foot switches are really responsive, and of course the quality of the reverb still holds up, and I would venture to say that it's still the best you can get. I understand Strymon sent me this pedal, but it's my honest opinion. I have not heard a reverb that has topped this just yet. I did not look at the instruction manual, I didn't watch any YouTube videos figuring out how to operate this. I just plugged it in, turned it on, messed with some knobs, and it took me about 30 seconds to understand how this thing functioned and how to make it sound good. Now, let's be honest, it's pretty big. It takes up some serious real estate on your pedal board, so you have to be prepared for that if you plan on adding this to your rig. There's also no MIDI over USB. There's no IR loading, which I don't think you'll ever need in a reverb pedal, but in today's market is worth talking about. There's no touchscreen, and it is nearly $500 in the year 2025. Those aren't complaints, they're just things that you should be thinking about if you plan on purchasing this for yourself. In my opinion, this pedal still makes a whole lot of sense for players who want the hands-on approach and physical knobs. It's for the player who prefers hardware over plugins. It's also for the player who loves to build soundscapes and to make things sound epic. Now again, it does take up a whole lot of space on your pedal board, not a complaint, just something to consider. If you're a worship player like me, I think the BigSky still has a lot to say, and I could see this being a staple on every worshiper's pedal board for the foreseeable future. I think this is going to be one of those pedals we look back at in many years and think, wow, that's the thing that shaped the entire sound of the worship genre. For me, I've been a Helix player for years, and the reverb on Helix is actually pretty good. But once I plugged this in, I knew almost immediately, okay, there's a reason why this pedal costs almost $500, and there is still value to getting a dedicated reverb pedal. So for me, the BigSky still really inspires me, and that is why it has earned a spot on my pedal board going forward. I'm going to be building a whole new worship pedal board from scratch, and I am leaving the Helix behind, at least for now. So if you're excited to see that or you want to follow along, please subscribe to this channel, because not only are we talking about the BigSky, but you can check out my Boss IR2 review in the card right here. And soon I'm going to be going over the drives I've selected for my board and some other things, and then eventually we're going to put the whole thing together. Now for me personally, my favorite setting is the cloud setting. It's arguably what made people fall in love with the BigSky sound in the first place. For a lot of people, when you think BigSky, you think cloud. The bloom setting has the perfect pad-like swell to it that's perfect in the worship environment or if you're making cinematic soundscapes. And then of course it has a really good shimmer feature on it. Love or hate shimmer, Strymon does it the best. So let me know down in the comments, do you still use the BigSky or have you moved on to something smaller or newer? If this video has helped you out at all, please do not forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and send it to a friend that you think would enjoy this video. So again, a huge shout out to Strymon for sending this over for me to check out, and I will see you in the next video.